Hello and howdy everyone. Here to talk about the new film from the whole Jackass crew, Bad Grandpa. I enjoyed it. I'm going to give it a solid 6. I think a 6 is fair. I think it's kind of Jackass light. It was repetitive. It was, not as outlandish as I was kind of hoping for. I don't want to use the S word so much, but there's no other way to not say it because there's no other word for it, but I could see where a true Jackass fan would call this a sellout. Again, I'm not necessarily saying it's a sellout, but it's definitely a restrained version of their humor. Definitely they want to access more, more people, a bigger crowd. I'll tell you for damn sure this is the first time that my mom said, "Oh man, I gotta go see that Bad Grandpa movie." I will guarantee you that's the only time that my mother has wanted anything to do with Jackass. So if my mom is suddenly wanting to watch Jackass, it's like, okay, I think that maybe, they're trying for something, more now. And I think that's pretty obvious. This film does follow a narrative. It's not a certainly dense narrative, but it's a narrative nonetheless. You've got a little kid whose mother is going to jail. So he has to go live with his dad since the mom is going to jail. The mom gives the kid to her dad, to the little kid's grandpa, to take him across the country, to deliver him to his father. And so it's a road trip across the country with grandfather and grandson, and getting into various hijinks along the way. It's also, I don't think, as daring. I wanted it to be more daring. I wanted it to be more shocking. It didn't make my jaw drop. I laughed a lot. I thought it was funny, but it never, shocked me. It never, again, I don't know how else to say it. My jaw never dropped. And with, so recently the Sacha Baron Cohen films, like Borat and Bruno, they've set the bar really, really high. Some of that stuff is just, wow, I can't believe that just happened. That never happens here with Bad Grandpa. It's definitely funny, definitely, plays on rubes, getting their own. It's obvious that they had a good time making the movie. That sometimes I even felt that they, the scenes that they picked for the film were like outtakes. I thought that the film felt very loose, felt very fun. It makes for a very loose and fun experience in the theater. It gets a little slow, it's repetitive, I suppose I could say. I don't want to say monotonous, but it is, slightly repetitive. And I guess I got a little bored, if I'm being honest, I got a little bored. All the pranks kind of hit and miss, more misses than hits, but it's, they're funny. It's all, I just enjoy watching real people react to the ridiculous. And that's all I need. And yes, I would like it to be the most ridiculous, but even just slightly ridiculous things and watching people react to that is just gold to me. So there's plenty of that in this film. That is the film. The acting's good. I think Johnny Knoxville did a good job. I think the makeup he had is great. Basically this film goes on the fact that old people and little kids can get away with a lot. You know, they can get away with most anything because they're old or young. Now you have the both of them together. You have the very old and the very young together, and they just have free reign. You know, they just get shit done. Sometimes literally, they get shit done. The kid is great. I can't remember the kid's name. He's really cute. He's funny. Just kind of a natural actor. Just very funny. That's the hardest I laughed in the film, was when he was alone. When he was alone doing pranks out on the street, that's when it's hilarious. I just to play my the biggest laugh for me was when he was looking for a new dad. I don't feel that I'm spoiling this in any way, just because it's whatever, a hidden camera show. But he's looking for a new dad, so he stops this hapless citizen and says, "Oh, you're my new dad. You're my new dad now." And he's like, "Who are you waiting for? Who are you?" He's like, "I'm waiting for you. You're my new dad." And he's like, he's like, "Look at me. Look at me in the eye. Look at me in the eye." And so the guy looks at me in the eye and goes, "I love you, Dad." It's just it's just the best, it's the best. Because how do you react to that? Watching it, you always say, well, I would have handled that situation differently, or, I would have done this, or I would have known it was a prank, or, something. We always think that while watching someone else go through it, we always think that we're going to handle it much better. I don't think that's the case. I think we'd be plenty surprised, every single one of us, if we were caught in a situation like that. And just how the guy handles it is just fantastic. But whenever the kid is alone on the street, that's when the movie is at its funniest. Though the movie's, funny throughout. There's also a lot of good poop humor. I like farts and I like poop. So there's there's plenty of that going on. I guess Jeff Tremaine gets the director credit. Well directed, I guess, utilizing small cameras, zooms and such like that. I don't know if it's maybe more of an editor's, film. I'm sure this film, definitely takes shape and becomes itself in the editing room. Written by, again, the Jackass crew. Spike Jonze was in there, Johnny Knoxville, Tremaine as well. Who else? God, there's another big name that I'm forgetting. Well, it doesn't matter. But anyway, it is a Jackass film. It's definitely more tame, but, it certainly has that, Jackass spirit intact. I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, it's, pretty straightforward. It's Bad Grandpa. Even it's right there in the title. So I don't really know what else to say about it, other than I enjoyed it. I didn't love it. Certainly didn't hate it. It's just, it was funny. It was sweet. It really was sweet. I mean, it really is. It has, I guess, a good message about, child abuse and caring. It's so sad that the messages of our films are, you have to care about children. If you have a kid, you have to love it. That's the moral that we have to force feed people. Oh, I have to take care of my kids. I guess I've said pretty much all I got to say about it. It was just fun. I don't know if you necessarily need to see it on the big screen, other than I always say you should see movies on the big screen. I think this would make a fine rental. If you're a Jackass fan, then you should definitely go see it. But maybe if you're a Jackass super fan, you'll be somewhat bummed out, and you should just stay home and watch your your CKY videos. Yeah, okay. I think I've said my piece. So there you go. That's Jackass Presents Bad Grandpa, and I give it a solid 6. Thanks much.